up, Blockchain Nation? What up, YouTube? Thank you for taking time to subscribe to this channel. If you haven't, please hit the subscribe button below. And don't forget to hit the bell so that you can get weekly notifications whenever I release videos. For those who watch these videos on a consistent basis, I want to say a big thank you, thank you, thank you. You are indeed far too kind. So, how can I learn? The question out there I'm trying to answer today is, how can you learn programming fast? What's the way to learn programming that you can pick up this concept faster than normal? Because it takes time and it's very, very difficult. I would not, I'll be lying to you if I said it wasn't hard. It's one of the hardest things I've done in my entire life. But there's a way that you can improve your learning, you can speed up and accelerate your learning, and that's what I want to talk about today. So I'm just going to highlight a couple of things. And here we go. Okay, first thing is you have to know what your ultimate goal is, and this is what slows a lot of us people down. I'll explain. For in some cases, you decided to get into programming for whatever reason. Maybe you want to change your career. Maybe you always want to build something. Maybe you want to have time and money together. Maybe you want to spend more time with your family because software development jobs, a lot of them are remote. So you're looking for a career change. So whatever the reason is, know what your ultimate goal is. And your ultimate goal, more than what you want to get out of programming, decide what kind of software engineer you want to be. What I mean is, you decide whether you want to be a web developer, decide whether you want to be an Android or want to be able to build mobile applications, decide whether you want to go into AI, decide whether you want to go into AI and machine learning, decide whether you want to go into data science. Why that is important is, it will determine the kind of technology stack that you work on, or whatever tech stack that you choose. Because I've seen a lot of cases, and that's happened to me before, where you're in one phase where, okay, you want to be a web developer, and then someone comes out and say data science is the new thing, and you throw away, drop everything you're doing, and you pick up something else because you want to be focused on data science. Maybe you're trying to learn JavaScript, become a web developer. Somebody says, no, don't be a front-end developer. Do AI and do machine learning. And you start reading Python, and you're doing Python for a week. Someone comes and says, blockchain is the way to go, and then you change again. So know what your ultimate goal is. Know the kind of software engineer you want to be. It's very, 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 very key, so that you don't get tossed left and right by different things. Now, you can start off and learn a little bit about everything, but once you've decided to pick one, focus on it for a while. Get a job in it, be very professional, and do it for 2, 3, 4, even 5 years. Then you can now say, okay, you want to learn other stuff. So I'm going to say that again. When you decide the kind of software engineer you want to be, whether it's you want to focus on building on machine learning, on data science, or you want to build mobile applications, you can spend some time and research every single one. But once you've decided what it is you want to do, just put your head down and focus on that thing, and don't get distracted, because that's what slows a lot of people down. Yeah. Second thing is, once you've decided or determined what your ultimate goal is, break your goal into smaller goals. What does that mean? So let's say you want to become a blockchain developer, for instance. There is a path to getting there. You can say, okay, before I become a blockchain developer and start building blockchain applications, let me learn basic front-end stuff. The first goal might be to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, this also depends on how you want to learn. Do you want to do the self-taught route? Do you want to go to a boot camp? Or are you learning in college? That's very, very, very key. Because if you're doing the self-taught route, you have to come up with a curriculum for yourself on the things that you are going to learn. If you're having problems with that and you're going the self-taught route, I've done that before. It's difficult, but I can help you. Send me an email. Let's talk. Let's interact. I can tell you what I think, what worked for me, and what might work for you. Or we can work together for a plan that works for you. So break it into smaller goals. So you can start learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's your first thing to learn. So once you learn that, you can ask, okay, great. Now let me learn a JavaScript framework like React or Vue or Svelte or Angular. That's your next thing to do. Then you decide to take it a step further and say, okay, I want to be able to interact with the database. Let me learn MongoDB, and let me also learn something like Node.js or Ruby on Rails or whatever it is. So break it into smaller goals, set a path so that once you've done the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you're excited before you move to the next thing, ultimately to becoming a blockchain developer. I hope that makes sense. So break your goal into smaller goals. Third thing is, have a schedule to learn. When you've broken up into smaller goals, put together a schedule. I just mentioned that. How you can send me an email and let's talk. And I charge absolutely free. I'm just here to serve. But yeah, have a schedule to learn. If you go to a boot camp, it's great. They create a schedule for you. What is that? Now this, for example, this is my own personal schedule I put together for myself. I was trying to learn, I had a study plan that I put together where I'll learn about JavaScript and how to this is also something I was doing for preparing for interviews. There's this resource called Full Stack Cafe, and I was trying to go over most of the curriculum. So so I put together my own kind of schedule, that I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That way I know I'm on track. So have a schedule to learn. Put together a schedule is very, very good. Fourth thing is practice every single day. Now I know for some people it's difficult because you have kids, you have a spouse, whatever. So I learned something recently. There's something called the 2-day rule, which means never go 2 whole days without practicing. Even if you miss a day, which I don't recommend that you do, but even if you do, what happens to some people, once they miss a day, they're like, oh, I missed a day, I'm off track, I'm not going back to do this anymore. No, I have the 2-day rule. You miss a day, that's fine, but make sure you don't miss more than 2 days. It's very, 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 very important. So even though I say practice every day, also to add to that is the 2-day rule. Don't go more than, even if you miss 1 day, get back at it again. So if something happens the other day, make sure you don't go more than 2 days. It's very, very key. That's the 2-day rule, right? Now, fifth thing is when you're going through the, whether it's a boot camp or whether you're doing the self-study route and you're using a tool, make sure you don't copy and paste code. This is very key. Do the actual exercise. There's something about actually writing the code. Whether you're doing a course on Udemy and you can see, don't just copy and paste the examples or copy and paste the final project. Make sure you go through the pain of writing it. I promise you, it's very, very key. It will help you to get used to the syntax. It will help you to build up your skills, right? Sixth thing is build projects by working on what you like. I met a lady the other day, a couple of weeks ago, where she was graduating from a boot camp, and she had no programming experience, but she was in the cake baking business. She was a baker. She used to bake cakes. So our final year project for our boot camp was she built a website that you can actually order cakes from, something that she was ultimately going to use for her business. That's exciting. That's a great way to remain engaged. So to build projects on stuff that you like. If you're maybe you're in teaching business and you want to do something for kids, whatever it is, build a project that's based on stuff you like. Don't be trying to get into web development, then build some other project that's related to something that you're not really passionate about. So make sure you build projects on what you like. That's number 6. Number 7 is contribute to open source. Right? Now, this might scare you, but contribute to open source or existing projects that you like. Now, this is the first one was build projects that you like from scratch, is what I meant from point 6. Point 7 is contribute to open source or already existing projects. Now, before that scares you when you hear open source, what you can start with is open source projects. There's so many of them on GitHub. You can start with a project based on something that you like, and all you just have to do is work on the documentation. That's how great way to start. Before you even go into looking at code, start with documentation, because a lot of projects on GitHub, open source projects, they don't have great documentation, because the developers are working on working on the code. They don't really have time for documentation. So for people like me and you that might just go to a particular repository on GitHub, we're confused at what the heck does all this mean, because people haven't sat down to actually work on proper documentation. So you can actually look for something that you like, an existing open source project, and then just contribute to documentation. That's a very, very great way to remain engaged, and it will help you to understand the syntax. You can also run whatever it is locally on your machine, and but I won't bore you with all that stuff. Contribute to open source by starting with just doing documentation, which is good. 8 is share what you're learning. What I mean is when I learn something, I try and talk about it. The more you talk about it, the more you remember it. So when I learn something new, I walk up to my wife and I say stuff like, oh, I just learned something new on JavaScript. Oh, I learned how to, and I say it, and it sounds like Greek to her. Yes, to me too, but saying it out loud helps me to reinforce my learning, right? And that takes me to point number 9, which is teach. Teach. When you reinforce your learning, look for somebody, and we're all learning, that you can actually teach what you're learning. Okay, this is what I learned today. I learned how to create a small div tag and how to change the body of the background color of my website by changing the color attribute in my CSS. Something just basic that you can just teach. Make sure you teach. Teaching is key. Just come up with do your YouTube channel. I had the video I did for sometime last year that I said everyone should start a YouTube channel. Everyone start a YouTube channel and teach. That's what I'm doing. I'm teaching. And as I'm teaching, I'm learning too. And lastly, this is the most important thing to learn programming fast, in my opinion, is just have fun. Have fun. It's going to be complicated. You're going to feel like you're hitting your head on a brick wall, but just have fun with it. Just have fun. Because if you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong. It's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard, but the process is necessary. You got to go through the process to get the result. So I hope those 10 things help to help you learn programming fast. Comments below, let me know what you think, or advice that you can give us as well. So that's all for me from today. So till next time, before I say that, make sure you subscribe so that you can get more videos. Check out all the videos that we've done before on a lot of related topics so that you can improve your learning, in my personal opinion. Anyways, until next time, my wish for you is that you learn how to code, because coding is changing and will change the world, especially this blockchain, distributed ledger technology space. And it's my personal opinion that those who get involved early will greatly impact the future. And if that's you, let's go change the world.